it's hard to put the salt in my beer. That's not good.
But Sean,
Back on my knees.
hey, the month is almost over. Time is moving fast. How many days before Christmas? Well, I say it every year, but this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my Christmas cards early, send them to my mom early.
I say that about Halloween candy. I was going to get my Halloween candy early and I never do.
Well, with mom, what ends up happening is I get her Christmas cards and then I end up having to overnight them. Because my mom says, if you're giving somebody a birthday card or Christmas card, you need to give it to them early so that they can sit it out. So for example, since my birthday is at the beginning of November, my mom starts sending me my birthday cards. Yes. So I'm like, okay. And then if she sends them and they don't arrive till the 20th, she's always like, I'm sorry for being late. I'm like, I celebrate the entire month. It's okay. All right, everyone. Today is Tuesday. Notice how I slided that out because I had to think about it. I'm going to call the docket. Let me know if you are here. If you don't answer to the docket, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. If you're on the front row, I'm going to ask you not to sit on the front row. Front row are for people who are late. No, people who are late are people who are in church when the pastor says, hey, come on down. All right, Raymond Amaya. Raymond Amaya. Kevin Young. Kevin Young. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think that's this afternoon and it's with Judge, what's her name? Jarrett. Because I think she heard that. So he'll be in impact court. Laura Gallegos is in custody. Timothy Hernandez. Timothy. All right, thank you. Nicholas Ramos, that's going to be recalled for the 19th. And if you have his files, if you could give those to me. Yes, sir. Aaron LaFontaine. Aaron LaFontaine. Ernest Ramon.
Please stand up when they call your name.
Roberto Maldonado.
My attorney will be here at 10.
All right, thank you. Melvina Kane. Mariana Barnes.
Please stand up, ma'am.
In custody, we have David Cerna, Jose Sanchez, Shelby Bandy, Clark Edward Shepard. Thank you. Alberto Zuniga. Alberto Zuniga. In custody, we have Armando Regalado. Regalado. Okay. Irene Alamon. Thank you. Monica Wade. Thaddeus Green. Thank you. In custody, we have Matthew Castro. Thank you. Karen Marino. Karen Marino. Hank Finney. Hank Finney. Oh, and you know what? On those files on Nicholas Ramos, you all may not have pulled those.
No, ma'am, I don't think we did.
Okay. And custody is Joseph Grosso. And then for 11 o'clock, Mr. Nguyen, Dowden, Smith, Rodriguez.
He's in custody, Your Honor.
Oh, all right. Well, let's Armando Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's bring him out whenever you all are ready. Jonathan Dash, David Cerna, custody, Jerry Williams. Thank you. Jose Lozano. Isaiah Guerra. Thank you. They're probably going to, Mr. Guerra, they're probably going to have you sit in the box. So just wait in the box. Your attorney's going to be by Zoom. All right.
Oh, okay.
In the box over there. Is that correct, Deputy Laura? All right. Rodney Patterson. Rodney Patterson, Christopher Christopher Suniga. All right, is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, we're gonna start here with the burgundy shirt. What's your name? Oh, okay, you need to take a seat in the box, all right? Wait, no, you said Albert Zuniga? Not Christopher. Okay, have a seat. Everybody's getting jumpy. All right, do you know your case number or SID number?
SID number is 1135 931.
11:35.
931.
Do you know who your attorney is?
I'm not too sure.
Oh, there you go. All right, yes. All right, you're gonna have to speak up. Malachi Davis, do you know your case number or SID number? Wait, 118. Do you know who your attorney is? Have you met your attorney? Is your attorney appointed? All right, is that your mom and everybody with you? All right, let me talk to mom. Does he have an attorney? All right, is he going to need one appointed to him? All right, so just have a seat. We're going to take care of that today, okay? All right, thank you. Yes. How do you spell your last name? All right, do you know your case number or SID number? Do you know who your attorney is? All right, is your attorney retained or appointed? All right, just give us a moment. Yes.
Leslie Gutierrez, and my SID number is 685-6069.
Say it again.
685-606. And do you know who your attorney is?
No, I haven't got a hold of I tried to get a hold of my attorney and.
All right, is your attorney appointed or retained?
He's retained, but I wanted to see like, I wanted to hire a lawyer.
All right, so he's appointed. Just give us a moment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Anyone else who came in late or name was not called? Yes, Kevin Young. All right, Mr. Young, I'm gonna need you to have a seat on the first row. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. 1, the court reporter, do not touch her equipment. She has placed signs saying do not touch. People are still not following those rules. If you touch it, if you disturb it, if you break it, you have bought it. And that equipment is over $10,000. So that is her office. Do not lean on her desk. Do not put items on the desk. To my right, we have the CLO. Vashon, can you raise your hand? That is her office. That is her desk. Do not sit on it. Do not put papers on it. Do not turn your back to her. If you violate any of these rules, I'm going to come to your office when it's inconvenient for you. I'm going to bring papers. I'm going to sit on your desk, and then you will know it's not great to do that. To the left are the files for criminal trial division. To my right are files for family violence. There's an uptick in the flu season. People haven't gotten their flu shots. I haven't got my flu shot yet. Don't tell my mom. But just grab your file and put your file on whatever desk corresponds to your case. They will call you in the order in which you appear. So once you put your file there, just have a seat. They're going to get to you, and they're going to get to you in order. Do not approach the court coordinator or the clerk asking for a continuance, asking for a reset. I'm the only person who can give you that. If you wish to approach the court on a case, just have the clerk pull your file. The clerk will place your file here. I will call you in the order in which I receive your file. The only exception to that is if you need an interpreter, because we have so few interpreters. So when do you need an interpreter? If your client wishes to speak to court in a language other than English, whether you speak their language or not, an interpreter is needed. If you have a client who's in custody, ask the deputies. They will bring them out. Once you've requested an interpreter, once you've requested your client be brought out, do not leave the courtroom, because the deputies are in charge of security. They can only bring so many inmates out of a time. If you leave, and your inmate is brought out, you are being selfish to your colleagues because then their client cannot be brought out. If you leave when you call an interpreter, you're being selfish again to the other courts because other courts need interpreters. All right, so they tell me today is Tuesday. It's a great day because guess what? It's not Monday. So everybody's going to be kind to each other. We're going to confer with smiles on our faces, and it's going to be a great day. So everyone, please confer. And then Malachi Davis, we're going to get you an attorney. He does? All right, so we're going to have Mr. Kano come.
I may have to sit.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to text Mr. Kano and tell him he's needed in the 187.
Good morning, sir.
Just Orlando stitches. He was on the third floor.
All right, James Peralta, if you can come forward, please. Oh, come forward. Do you by chance know your case number?
I can go ahead and retrieve it for you, Your Honor.
Yes.
James Prowse.
Okay, you give me your citizen license. Do you have your children?
Yes, we're going to retrieve that. Sorry.
His attorney is Rory Barrera Jr.
But do you have the case number?
What did you ask?
The case number.
Case number, how does the night mag number?
Okay, that's good. All right, Mr. Peralta,
Yes, Your Honor.
in this court, if your case hasn't been indicted, you're usually not set on the docket unless your attorney requests that you be here. So did your attorney request that you come today?
No.
All
Yes.
right.
My attorney's not going to be able to make it in. He told me that he was going to file a request. I'm not sure of the technical term. He wanted to
That's okay.
defer the date to a different day.
No, you're not on the docket today. Your case hasn't been indicted. You'll know when your case is indicted because it'll start with a year. It may start with 2023 CR. So whenever you see a CR for your new case number, that means that your case has been indicted. And that means on that date, that's when you have to show up. If your attorney is requesting you to show up, then they will let the court know and let you know to come in. So you don't have to be here today. If there's an issue with your bondsman, they can call the court and we'll let them know that you showed up.
Okay.
So you're excused.
Is there any information I might need to relay to my lawyer at all?
No, he knows that, or well, maybe not. He should know we don't have unindicted cases on the docket.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Or yes, ma'am.
All right. And thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
It's a matter of respect, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Everybody
much for your
take
time.
note. Thank you. All right. Have a great day.
Likewise.
You will leave this. Okay. Thank you. And so he's here. He's free to leave. It's an indicting. Okay. Thank you so much.
Mr. Garcia, Christopher Zuniga has not appeared. So you may want to see if you can contact the bondsman. He's listed as a fugitive. And he was scheduled for yesterday, but I had to recall for today because.
Yes, I got a call right before Norma contacted me that he had taken his mom to the doctor yesterday morning.
Mhm.
He was supposed to be in court at 1:30. I don't know if he showed yesterday at 1:30.
No, he didn't.
Okay, and then this morning I spoke to the mom who told me that he was on his way to court.
Okay.
So
Well, I usually give people till 10 or 10:30.
Okay.
So if you want to check back.
I'll wait around, Judge.
All right.
I'll hang out just to see.
All right, good seeing you. I still haven't seen your brother in a while.
I'll tell them to come by and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
He always had some great stories
Still
too.
does.
Okay.
Some that have been untold to this point, so.
Okay.
Your mom.
And Deputy Laura, we're gonna have to break at 11:30 and maybe come back in the afternoon. Because I have to go to the Pay It Forward luncheon. And that's the luncheon for persons who are at Cross Point. And since we send people there, I always want to know how it looks. Cleophas Marshall,
Good morning, Jen.
good morning.
How are you doing?
All right, how are you doing?
I'm great, fantastic.
Look at you, could, on your, we are on our weight loss journey as well.
You are?
Yes.
How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
Okay.
My brother called and he said, I've noticed Stephanie has lost some weight, but I'm just walking more.
Okay. You do the stuff I gave you doing any of it?
Hmm?
You doing any of the stuff I gave you?
Yes.
Okay. It works too.
Yeah.
Stick with it.
I-
Get this right, you'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have 2 cases this morning.
Mhm.
One is, I believe, first setting, so I'm believing it'll reset. The other case, I need to take a look at it. We
Mhm.
might be in the realm of being able to do a plea.
Okay.
But I have to be at federal court at 10 and I got sentencing on a murder in 290.
Oh, we'll hold it. We'll hold everything over for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to knock it out right here, right now.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of
Oh,
I don't want to read them.
okay. I will.
Yeah, you won't, that's not gonna be a condition of probation Oh, I see you.
This is.
Yeah.
So many
Helps the intake. A lot of work. Yeah, so debating indictment on the charge of receiving of a lesser. And then, he is. Behind.
No, that's the one. They all. She's gonna give you her contact order. You gotta get it.
$100 of community service. And then, so,
Yeah. So 701. I see.
Once we have a case under, we burn down the case.
I know it's one day.
Well.
Richard? I have to agree, I don't know.
We're okay with names.
Yeah. Carl was a pretty good friend. He has to give her. Report, which was. I gotta get that argument.
Oh, it's the Waiting Channel 7, so they just moved it.
Right. So it's not.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Sure.
How can I help you?
My point is, excuse me, this is, been through that setting, I think it's aimed at, with him. When you're going to-
Yeah.
Who's on contact with him, and, other things, well, they don't respond. So we don't have any response right now.
Got it. Oh, yes.
So that we're waiting for veterans
So that-
to do
that's
something.
connected to the-
He calls them, he investigates, but they don't respond. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Okay.
And it's
One ring.
alone.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I have a slide, but.
Yeah, as I know you. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do.
All right, Ernest Ramon. And where's Ernest Ramon? Come forward. All right. So where are we on the Veterans Treatment Court for you?
Still waiting for a response back. I have gotten no response.
All right, just have a seat. We're going to call the person from Veterans Treatment Court. So just have a seat. We're going to see where we are.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Thank you.
I know you had a big weekend. I wanted to. No. Sounds like it's.
Okay. I'll let him know. Yeah, and I'll do, and I'll. Make sure that they'll give us a- Okay. Mr. Scott will be here. He has another case pending in our.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll have him. She said. His secretary, they tried contacting Mr. Davis.
Mhm.
The voicemail stopped set up. Yeah. And wasn't able to leave anything. So we have somebody there and get information.
All right, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Davis?
And Norma, make sure he stays till he sees him face to face. Here. Yes.
I need for you to fill this information out. You think he's been trying to get hold of you, and you only have one phone number.
Okay, all right, we'll take that out. All right, state for family violence. If you all could confer with Mr. White on Ernest Ramon, please.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Ramon, you were not accepted in Veterans Treatment Court. All right, so the state is going to confer with your attorney, okay? All right. All right, if you'll just confer with the state.
Mr. White.
Yeah, he wasn't accepted, so if you'll confer with the state.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
thank you.
So I'll send this soon to you.
Awesome, and then I'll forward it to you. Thank you so much.
Wait, please.
I think that's.
Roberto Maldonado. If you come forward.
He asked me which one.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm doing.
All right, where's your client is coming from a long way away.
I'm doing well.
All right, so today is your plea deadline date. So either you're entering a plea today or you're being set for jury trial.
We'd like to be set for jury trial, Judge.
All right, so your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna need a jury trial date. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
2 days.
A couple days, and Your Honor, I proposed the 30th. Yeah.
That may resolve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, October 30th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Just sign it out here.
Jonathan Dash.
Just to give you a quick update on Mr. Dash, he was rejected from felony drug court. So the next steps were for him to go to state ISF. I believe during the process of him getting evaluated for drug court, there may have been a mix up on the next steps for him.
Okay.
I believe they said something about safety,
Mhm.
and so kind of ruffled feathers. he really does want to go ahead and participate in state ISF. So we just wanted to bring that to the court's attention.
All right, and that's what I see I ordered.
Yes.
So it's going to be state ISF.
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, is there anything else? Okay. You're welcome.
Let me get a copy for you.
Thank you.
Aaron LaFontaine. Aaron LaFontaine. Alberto Zuniga. Oh, no. Just have a seat. I'm checking you off. Karen Marino. Karen Marino. Hank Finney. Hank Finney. All right, thank you. Rodney Patterson. Rodney Patterson. Christopher Suniga. Christopher Suniga. It's Ernest Ramon. Ernest Ramon,
Yes, Your Honor.
come forward. All right, and if I could see the state, sorry, sir, if you just slide over a little bit. Everyone, slide over. All right, state, in this case, have you tendered all of the discovery?
We have, Your Honor.
Mr. White, do you have all of the discovery?
Yeah, I believe so. We have, and we've seen the safe file, but everything.
All right, so I'm going to need an acknowledgement of discovery. State, did you tender an offer?
We did, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramon,
Yes,
are you aware of the state's offer?
yes,
Are you rejecting that offer?
yes,
Are you asking for a jury trial?
yes.
All right, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
Miss, how long do you all expect this trial to last?
No longer than 2 days, Your Honor, potentially.
All right, Miss Ferguson, I need a trial date. All right, you'll be back on October 30th for jury trial. Once you sign the reset form, you excuse.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and before you all leave, I need the acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna get that for you right now.
Okay.
Impact court. On the 30th, you're going to impact court.
Okay.
Okay, it's on the second floor.
Yes, thank you. All right, thank you. Jerry Williams. Could I have parties approach, please? And probation, this is an application. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 9279W, State of Texas versus Jerry Carl Williams. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks, the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Brohbach for Jerry Williams.
And are you Mr. Williams?
ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Williams, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver of indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment. So attorneys, you all are blocking the door where the inmates come out. And I forgot to make this announcement. The deputies are in charge of court security. If something happens and you are in their way, they have my permission to make the court safe by whatever means they're making the court safe. So if you're in their line of vision, that's on you. We're back on the record. All right, did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict and hold you over for trial? Did you understand your attorney has 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? You don't have to speak up so the court reporter can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.05 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Going to show you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled information. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
No, Your Honor, the state moves to proceed on the lesser included violation of protective order class A misdemeanor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the offense of violation of protective order or bond conditions as a Class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, ma'am, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, he is.
Mr. Williams, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offensive violation bond and protective order. There's a $0 fine. The state is recommending deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Latasha, Latosha Williams, and anger management course. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, sir.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 12 months. There be 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachment.
No objection.
All right, and state, did you have a chance to speak with the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me pull that up.
Mr. White, your client wants to speak to you.
Yes, we did make her aware of this.
All right, thank you. You may continue to confer. Mr. Williams, I'm showing you what's entitled a waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am, aware.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I think he'll follow the rules, Judge, and understands what he needs to do.
All right. So, Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
One.
Age?
Well,
All right, and is this one child? Is the complainant the mother?
No.
All right. So what is your relationship to Latasha Williams? Your wife? How long have you been married?
Year.
1 year. How long have you known her?
2 years.
I'm sorry,
Two.
2 years. And how old are you?
32.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Doing what?
I'm a truck driver, but I operate heavy equipment right now.
Okay. All right, so I want to explain something to you. She no longer wants to be with you. Now, I mean, you say that's fine, but what I have before me is you contacting her. She doesn't want you anymore. Legally, I guess you all are still married, but in the real world, right, she doesn't want you anymore. Right. She doesn't want to be your wife. She doesn't want you contacting her. Do you all have property together? All right, you don't have property together. You don't have children together. Do y'all have friends in common? You don't have friends in common. So it's like the song Maya, The Case of the Ex. You don't have any mutual friends. You don't have any children. You don't have any property together. The only thing you have is name on paper. So did you all legally marry, or is this common law that you're doing? All right. So she doesn't want you anymore. You can get a divorce on paper, or she can get a divorce on paper.
Yeah, I already got it.
But so you have it filed?
Yeah, I'm going, it's already in the process.
All right. So you understand you're not to have contact with her. She's done.
That's fine.
And you should be able to be done with her because you're 32 and you've only known her for 2 years. So you went 30 years on the planet without knowing her. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sure, is your mom currently alive?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure your mom has told you to move on.
Most definitely. Family members, everybody.
So you need to do it. Otherwise, you're looking up to a year in the Bexar County Jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 1 year deferred adjudication, 100 hours of community service restitution. How often do you see your 12-year-old?
He live in Illinois. Only sometimes when I go back to Louisiana, I'll see him. But I just pay child support basically.
So you're not a father?
I'm a father, but
No.
I'm not there. His mom took him to a place where he can have a better education, basically, because it's nothing where I'm from. That's the same reason why I moved here.
Well, no. Being a father is more than just paying child support.
I'll be there when I can. But
Well,
if he's in another state, what can I do?
Oh, you can have contact with him. You
I
can
do
be
all that. I
a,
talk to him every day.
you can be a
FaceTime.
person in his life.
I do all.
So it's going to be parenting classes. And the community service hours will not be waived. If you want to pay off your community service hours, you're more than welcome to pay off your community service hours at $7.25 per hour. And there's going to be parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs, or either you can do the patch. And we'll do field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. There's to be no contact with Latasha Williams. And when I say no contact, what that means is you can't have some third party call her, text her. Don't send her flowers. Don't saying, sorry, it didn't work out. You're not to communicate with her at all. Is as if you never met her, you don't know her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. The parenting class I took in the county, would that count for the parent, what you trying to give me? Because I have.
Oh, yeah. Why did you have to take parenting classes in Ledette County?
Volunteered to take.
No, why?
Why?
Yes.
Took it.
What, were you divorced? What was their child custody issues? Why?
I just took it just to know how to be a better parent, basically.
All right. Well, you need to provide proof of that to probation.
Okay.
All right. Probation. Is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
The removal of my ankle monitor.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to do that yet. But Sean, his ankle monitor can be removed once the complainant is contacted and see if the complainant has issues with that. The state will do that for you. So family violence. On this case, before his ankle monitor is removed, someone needs to contact the complainant and let her know that he's asking that the ankle monitor is removed and see if she has any objections to that. If she does have objections to that, we can come back to court and I'll hear what the reason is. All right. I'm going to show you.
Man, I'm a truck driver. I can't make a living being on ankle. I can't even find a job.
Go around. Yeah. Why are you reaching through?
Your Honor, we will go today.
They're gonna call today. Here's the issue, and I don't think you understand the seriousness of the issue. Because when people come before me, guess what they want? They want these cases done, they want things to move on, and they want their life to be back the way it was before they had a case. So the issue we have is a civil judge put in place a no contact order. You violated the no contact order. I've read your violations with her. So obviously there's some issue with you understanding the no contact order. And if you had to come to a criminal court, and this is a felony court, which means the state reduced your case from a felony to a misdemeanor, that means that there are issues with you and you're not understanding a court order. So what would it look like for me to think, oh, now he understands because he's talking to me, a judge, when he was talking to Judge Salinas and it didn't matter. So you understand? So that's why. So I want to make sure that the complainant knows that your attorney and you are requesting that the GPS be removed. If the complainant says, I'm in fear, I don't want the GPS removed, guess what's going to end up happening? We're going to have a hearing. That's the way we do things in this court. Because my job is to make sure that one, when people are placed on probation, they're rehabilitated, and make sure that if there is a complainant out there, that complainant is protected and society is protected. That's my job. All right. So I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. So, Mr. Brawback,
Yes, ma'am.
they're going to speak to the complainant today. If you want to hang around and see if they get in touch with her,
Yes, ma'am.
then we may be able to take this up.
Okay.
And state if she is objecting to it and she wants to appear by Zoom, then we can do that today and have a hearing by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
I'll be
Mr.
there.
Williams, remain in court.
Remain here. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Is that Aaron?
Hank Finney. Who's the attorney for Hank Finney? All right. All right, Mr. Marshall, you're on this side. Good morning. All right, Mr. Finney, you were late for court. Don't be late again.
I work at night. I just got off. I had to go home with pain clothes.
Okay, so just make sure you're on time, all right? So is this criminal trial division?
That is correct.
No. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Jason. Family violence, who's on this case? Hank Finney. All right, have you had all of the discovery?
Yes, Judge, I believe that we've had all the discovery. I have not signed, I don't think, a discovery acknowledgement, but we have received all discovery on the case.
All right, State, were you prepared to make an offer today or no?
I think we could make an offer today. Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
can I have a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date?
You can come back on the 28th, November 28th.
All right, so we're going to be back on November 28th. The state is going to give you an offer today. On November 28th, you'll need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand? All right, so once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Matthew Castro.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. So, and are you going to be handling the theft 2,500 to 30,000 vehicle as well?
I believe that felony violence is going to be taking a look at all of the outstanding cases, Your Honor.
Right. So do you know if you have all the discovery?
Judge, I don't know yet. They just indicted the family violence case. I'm not even sure it's set for trial today. Yeah, I'm gonna indict it.
last week, so I need to go back and check to see if I have it all.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Castro, can I have a 30-day reset, please? Norma, I need a 30-day reset on Castro. All right, so we're going to come back on November 28th. When we come back on that date, I'm going to expect the state to be prepared to make an offer. And I'm going to expect you all to have worked out that you have all the discovery.
Yes, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
From us, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Castro, if your attorney ever wants to come sooner than that, he can let the court know and we'll place you on the docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any questions about anything, Mr. Castro?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I just want to report to you that intervening that didn't show up.
Okay, let me call that. Just 1 second.
Long time to see. What's going
Can I see the file on Zuniga?
Right here.
Your Honor, he's not out there.
All right, thank you. And which case are either of these cases, has the bond been revoked?
Both of them are warrants.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garcia. All right, both of your clients' cases, their warrants issued, so you can be excused. Thaddeus Green. Hello.
One judge.
Oh, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
I truly appreciate that. All right, so where are we on discovery?
Well, discovery is not an issue right now, I hope, with the court either, because we've conferred, Judge, and the state agrees that maybe this is a case that would, pretrial diversion would be appropriate, and so we're going to apply for that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset date for PTD, please?
Yes, November 28th.
All right, so we'll see you back here on November 28th to get an update on the pretrial diversion. All right, thank you. Have any questions about anything?
I do not.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dawn.
Aaron LaFontaine.
Judge, I'm present for her. She's not.
All right. Could I have someone from the state, please? Jason, you ready to jump into action? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 3540, State of Texas versus Aaron Marie LaFontaine. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state. Orlando Costin for defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's 10:04 a.m. The defendant has been a no-show. She has not been in court. Deputy Laura, was an announcement made for Aaron LaFontaine?
Yes, Your Honor, and she is not in the hall.
All right, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
what are you requesting?
A bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right,
Judge, we'd be asking for time to locate her.
all right. Well, I will tell you, based upon what's in the docketing sheet, Judge Harrell noted that she was a no-show.
She was a no-show previously.
Yes, so that will be denied. I'm going to issue a bond forfeiture and remand your client without bond.
Yes, Judge, may I be excused?
Yes. All right, can you make sure there's a remand without bond in the system on her? Thank you. And could I see the file on Joseph Grossi? Hi. Hi.
Yes, quick question.
Sure.
I have a capital voucher and 4 ex parte motion to pay the defense team.
Yes.
Shall I file them and just leave them in back?
Well,
for
you
to
file them
review?
and bring them here.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll do that then.
Norma, on Joseph Grosso, can you call the MAC? My understanding, the attorney who's listed is, hi,
Good morning.
good morning.
I have, I did not, been running around like a chicken with my head cut off
That's
recently.
okay.
I filed 50 motions to withdraw.
Yes. So I have your motion to withdraw on this one. So that will be signed.
And
Have you requested that your client be brought out?
I have not yet. I just got finished with jail court because they were calling me very angry that I hadn't shown up yet.
Oh, no, no, no. No,
Right.
you're good. I just like for the clients to meet the person and let them know that they're going to have a new attorney.
And there's a setting on a bond reduction motion on this case.
Mhm.
I think it's set for tomorrow in the basement.
Yes, we'll make sure we have an attorney for him.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Deputy, yes, they're going to bring him out. And then if you could let him know. All right, thank you. I hope everything is going right.
It is because of the voucher issue and the delay in payment, my support staff focused on other things. And
Yes.
so things got a little overwhelming, and the thing to cut that was outside of my skill level without support is the felonies that they take a lot of work and a lot of dedication and time. And it's difficult to keep food on the table and a roof over your head.
Oh, no, I understand.
I did get.
I'm trying to-
though.
Awesome. Well, I'm trying to work on that issue because I remember when I first started defense work, it would be forever. The good thing about it was where I was officing, the auditor's office was right below.
Oh.
And you had your own personal auditor
Mhm.
who would handle maybe 20 cases. I would go knocking on that door. And I think I'm the reason they retired because I would tell them, excuse me, I want to eat this week. Can I please be paid? So I'm trying to see what's going on with that and why there is.
It's there was a brief period when the MAC took on the responsibility of the
vouchers.
misdemeanor vouchers, which it's Bear County, so they're gonna do things and promise things in order to get the funding for the money for one of the poorest cities in the nation, right? Like all that local politics stuff. And so they took on a responsibility that was a little too ahead without any sort of assistance of like technology, right? Like we're trying to switch to the Odyssey, and civil side does vouchers through Odyssey, and it apparently makes it really easy, but we're still doing paper and e-filing vouchers, and so they took on that responsibility. Backlog happened, and they're playing catch up, and they've been sending out weekly emails saying like, hey, we're this much closer, backlog is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And I did recently get paid, but there was a little chunk there where the just kind of
Oh, gosh.
dried up.
And then once you get the chunk, then you have to pay everything that got behind. So you're still without.
Yeah.
I try to explain that to people when I was on the civil side. It would take forever. And I would go to the judge, hey, I got to eat.
Right.
How would people feel if they worked and then somebody said, oh, we'll pay you when we pay you?
Right. It is, I'm still on the misdemeanor wheel. I still feel strong and capable of taking care of those and still helping my community and all that. But the ability to possibly take on private clients, I still have a couple of private clients that the wave of both felonies and misdemeanors just kind of consumed everything there for a while.
Well, I hope you come back once they have everything worked out.
Of course.
Okay.
We'll be back.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Armando Rodriguez.
This is just a little status update.
Okay.
There was a supplemental report submitted in regards to the TAP evaluation. We've already rolled on the supplemental report. So we just brought Mr. Rodriguez back to court to get all the documentation signed. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez. We're going to try you with intensive outpatient treatment. You understand? So if there's an issue, if you end up testing positive, it may end up being inpatient treatment. You understand? So it'll probably be best for you. And I know intensive outpatient treatment, they will set you up with your classes, but it'd probably be best for you to make sure that you go to sober meetings and make sure that you have a sponsor. So if you feel like using or some problem hits you in the face and you say, you know what, this is a good time to use. Instead of doing that, you're going to need to call someone. You understand?
Yes, I don't do drugs.
Hey, let's not do that because there's a reason they're recommending inpatient treatment or outpatient treatment to begin with. They're not doing this just because, oh, there's somebody here who doesn't have a drug problem. Let's give them treatment for a drug problem they don't have. You understand?
Yeah.
So do not come back here testing positive. You get? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I don't need a minute.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yes. Okay. And this case is currently pending.
Yes. he got retained.
Okay. So who's the retained counsel? Okay. So you all are no longer,
Correct, the representative.
okay.
Excuse me.
Now, I guess I'm.
You don't necessarily-
We thought he was appointed and Mario files his.
Yes.
Council motion, I mean, that kicks us off automatically.
What we're going to do is we are going to set this for a hearing.
Okay.
So that we can see where we are. Norma, on this case, yes, I want that set in 2 weeks for a hearing. All right, David Cerna,
Yes, I'm here.
he said tomorrow.
Oh,
All right, you're on this side.
gotta keep up with all that.
Yes.
For Thursday, Judge.
All right, so we'll keep it on Thursday if you'll show up on Thursday.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yes, and even if the retained attorney files a motion, I still would like for you to show up so we can
Okay.
process the exchange of information if needed.
Do I need to do a motion to withdraw it? Because we've given him everything. Mario's come to the office
Yes.
already. He's taken all we.
No, you don't have to do a motion to withdraw if he files it.
Okay,
So we'll just have you here on that date.
okay. Show up tomorrow. I need to get a copy. for you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So where are we on this case?
Okay, Your Honor, we were set for the first time on this case roughly about a week ago. I
Mhm.
interviewed the client in the box. I did say that there'd been a history of some mental illness. He had spent a lot of time in prison, got out, picked up this case. And it was, I had some concerns about his competency. He contacted tried to contact his brother, his sister.
So has a competency motion been filed?
No, that's what I'm about to tell you. I think I need to do that. Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this, they're going to file a motion for competency. What date?
On December 7th.
All right, we're going to come back on December 7th and defense, you need to file that motion.
I'll do that.
All right, thank you so much.
Now, excuse me.
Mr. Cerner, you have any questions?
I was in compliance a lot of times. Got to give my address moved. And I guess because of that, it cost me 3 years in prison, right?
All right, so Mr. Cerner, you want to talk to me about the facts of your case? Well, no, that's what you're giving me.
Yes, ma'am.
What you say are the facts of your case. It's probably best that you speak to your attorney about that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's here on Timothy Hernandez?
I don't know.
Thank you. And Norma. I need a new attorney for Joseph. All right, thank you. Court is calling 2023 CR 0469, State of Texas versus Timothy Ryan Hernandez. Please come forward. And this is Criminal Trial Division. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Fully office marshal for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Hernandez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, and I have signed the discovery acknowledgement.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Off the record for a moment. Excuse me. Do not talk to inmates in the box. Do you understand? No, you were nodding your head to people in the box. Can you correct that? Thank you. Deputies don't like when you talk to people in the box for security reasons. All right, we're back on the record. I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you counsel and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this agreement, you were giving up those rights? Hi.
Yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did understand.
According to the plea, there's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration grand jury number 790694. There's to be restitution payable to Brandon Flores and also Juan Antonio Mata and grand jury number 790694. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
That's correct.
State.
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, no contact with Brandon Flores, Juan Antonio Mata, and Cats 1 and 2. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
We have no objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, Your Honor, we would like the court to, having considered the application for deferred adjudication, to grant that application for deferred adjudication. I believe that Mr. Hernandez is motivated to comply with conditions of his probation, and I hope to believe that he will successfully complete the probationary period. And so we're asking that the court would accept the plea bargain that we entered into with the state.
All right. How old are you?
18.
Are you in school or have you graduated?
Neither.
Excuse me, Mr. Bartholomew. Hi, you all need to move to that end.
Sorry, Judge.
All right.
I can wait.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Diane.
My apologies.
So, did you graduate from school or are you in school?
None of them.
So,
I didn't graduate.
why not?
I had a kid.
You have a child?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the age of your child?
A year and 4 months.
Why do you think not getting an education is somehow helping your 1-year-old?
I was thinking of doing GED, but I really don't got nothing.
But the taking a vehicle
Right.
got in the way of that?
That was before my daughter was born.
So are you employed?
No, ma'am. I have an interview on Friday though.
All right, so you're not employed. You say you dropped out of school because you had a child, but none of your actions
Right.
are doing anything to better your child. So does your child live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And who else?
The mother of my child.
Hmm?
The mother of my child.
All right, and are you all living by yourselves?
Yes, ma'am.
So how are you paying for rent?
Yeah, well, I mow lawns around the area. I have normal like customers and plus I help.
All right, you're mumbling. I can't hear you. And I know the court reporter is having a time.
I mow lawns around the area. I have like normal customers. And I help around with my mom's friend.
Everyone whisper.
And I help around with my mom's friend doing demolition and junk removal and stuff like that.
Okay. And if you're drug tested today and know you're going to get tested today, what are the results going to be?
Be honest. Like I'm gonna be positive, yes.
For what?
Marijuana.
All right, you have a 1-year-old. Why are you smoking marijuana?
Honestly, I can't even tell you.
So, and is the mother smoking marijuana?
No, no, ma'am.
So here's the problem. 1-year-olds, their immune system is almost non-existent.
Right.
And they're trying to build up their immunity. They're taking in everything that's happening around them. They soak up things like a sponge. Everything that you do, they see, they want to repeat it because they love you and they think that's the way things are supposed to be. You using marijuana means your clothes smell like marijuana, which means the baby is inhaling marijuana. Do you think it's okay for a 1-year-old to smoke marijuana?
No, ma'am.
When you smoke marijuana, it's like the 1-year-old is smoking marijuana. Do you understand?
I do.
You're gonna have to set an example for your 1-year-old. Is this a girl or a boy?
Girl.
Right, you got to set an example for her. You know why? Because usually when daughters seek to get married or whatever, they're looking for somebody who's just like their parent. And where you are in the state in your life, if your daughter were of age, would you want her bringing somebody like you home?
No.
So you need to change your ways. You need to get your GED or either go to somebody's trade school or technical school to better yourself, because mowing lawns,
Yeah.
it can only get you so much money unless you're doing great work and you're going to take over the entire neighborhood. If you're taking over the entire neighborhood of mowing lawns, that can be a good living. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything successfully, then the court will consider letting you off early. Your attorney will tell you about that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a $1,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration grand jury number 790694. There's to be restitution, if any, to Brandon Flores and Juan Antonio Mata, and cause number grand jury, number 790694. 150 hours of community service restitution. Probation in exchange for the 150 hours community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. And he is either going to complete his GED or enroll in some sort of trade school so you can better yourself. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In my understanding, there's a shortage of welders. And I think welders make a lot of money. And you know who else make a lot of money? Plumbers.
Yeah, my sister wills.
There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. We're going to do regular UAs and let's test him for levels. Your levels of marijuana use had better start going down. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be no contact with Brandon Flores, Juan Antonio Mata. All right, probation. Let's do field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And if everything is fine, probation, you do field visits as you deem appropriate. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
As far as proof of employment or.
Thank you. We'll do proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
And Your Honor, did I understand you correctly, in lieu of the 150 hours of community service restitution, if he does parenting classes and gets his GET or enrolls in trade school?
The 150 hours will be satisfied.
Thank you. You understand?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else, probation? All right, they want you to do CATS 1 and 2. I'm going to give you my CATS program right now, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. Do not take what does not belong to you. Do not steal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a side note to the class that I give, if somebody ever invites you to a location and asks you to leave, leave. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if somebody wants to sell you a car and that car is being sold to you 4 times less its value, that means that there's something wrong with that car. If you get into a car that somebody has sold to you and the ignition interlock is damaged, that means that there's something going on with that vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from this court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do in your life, there are three things you need to think of. One, you need to think of how it's going to impact your child, right?
Right.
Two, if it's something that could potentially result in you going to the state jail facility and getting revoked for 2 years, you need not do it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Just don't do it,
Right.
because 2 years out of a child's life is a long time.
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So much, maybe be excused.
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe go sit over there.
Who is on Alberto Jose Zuniga? And probation, this is an application. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2023 CR. Just one second. Deputy Laura, can you just move Ed Bartolome and his client down to that end? No problem. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7894, State of Texas versus Alberto Zuniga. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Brobach for Zuniga.
And are you Mr. Zuniga?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Zuniga, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
And
Your
did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zuniga, I'm showing you what's entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do. He's currently competent.
Ms. Zuniga, Mr. Zuniga, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's to be a $500 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of repeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motion, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is asking for 2 years deferred adjudication. They're asking for a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
You may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I think he has a job. He's employed. I think he'll do well. He'll follow your rules.
All right, how old are you?
22.
How far did you go in school?
Dropped out at 9th grade, so 14 years old.
All right, why did you drop out?
I couldn't really concentrate. I have a problem with learning. Was one of my disabilities. So I couldn't really concentrate in school enough. So I did my own option and dropped out myself.
All right, so what do you do?
Right now I'm a landscaper, been doing landscaping for 4 to 5 years already. And that's all I really do. I just cut all the Circle K's around San Antonio and all the other little towns nearby. So that's my job.
All right, so you're enjoying that? That's what you want to do?
Nah, I'm really not. I'm trying to look for other jobs right now.
So you know it's hard to get another job when you only have a 9th grade education.
Yes, I understand that.
Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
All right, so let's get to the point. I don't understand why people drive in vehicles smoking marijuana in Texas. Everybody, it's illegal in Texas. I know what other states are doing, but in Texas, it's illegal. And so when you're smoking marijuana in a car, an officer is going to pull you over.
Yes,
And then whatever happens beyond that is on you. So you were smoking marijuana in a car and you had magic mushrooms.
Yes. Yes, I know it sounds ridiculous.
Landscaping, mushrooms, marijuana.
Yes, it doesn't look too good on me. I understand that.
And I will tell you, mushrooms, you never know what's going to happen.
Yes,
I'm not speaking from experience, but it's just what I've read.
Totally understand, Your Honor.
Yeah. So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative. I mean positive. I'm sorry. Positive. Yeah.
Positive for what?
Marijuana. That's it.
All right. You can't use any type of drugs in this court. You understand?
Yes.
Those are the rules. That's the law in Texas. No marijuana use. And the other law that's in Texas, when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. So I've had a hard day at work. It's hot outside. I'm going to come home and just relax and drink a beer. You're not allowed to do that while you're on probation.
Yes,
those are the rules. It's the law in Texas. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $500 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. We can do a TAP evaluation. How long have you been smoking marijuana?
Since I was 14. I haven't
Okay.
stopped since.
Hmm?
I haven't stopped since.
All right. So we're going to do a TAP evaluation. Also do a referral to felony drug court. Be sure to let felony drug court know that. And the reason why I'm considering you from felony drug court is because 1, they'll be able to help you with employment. They'll be able to help you with education if that's where it's needed. So just be 100% honest with them about how often you've been using marijuana.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we're going to do a TAP evaluation, referral to felony drug court, and you can do the referral to felony drug court first. Proof of employment within 45 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. We're going to do 90 sober meetings in 90 days. 100 hours of community service restitution. If he obtains his GED or is in some type of trade school, I'll have the 100 hours satisfied. Field visits. One time per month. And that's until he is in felony drug court or a treatment program. And if felony drug court doesn't accept him, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment, even though they're probably going to recommend inpatient. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. I know it's hard to change your life when you're used to doing certain things. But again, this is Texas. You can't be using marijuana every day. And I know it's going to be hard for you probably to quit, but you're going to have to do it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Norma, if you'll tell Eric DeWalt to zoom back in, we'll put him on. I don't think his client showed.
You're in the box.
Oh, okay. So if you have him zoom in. All right, Jose Sanchez. Oh, give me 5 minutes, just 5 minutes so that probation can go over conditions. You're welcome. We have one probation officer here, so.
Mr. Christian, Robin Christian, come up, please.
And Diana, if you need to take a break. And we will come back. All right, thanks.
You need a court appointed? You need to follow these instructions, come back with now a walk will be issued. Go down, follow these instructions, go down to the basement, past the cafeterias. So for that, and come back. Come back with the paperwork. Sandra,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. And what's his client's name?
It's on this recall judge and it is Isaiah. Yeah.
All right, can I see the file on Isaiah Guerra, please?
To the center, sir. Which is there.
All right. So your client did show Mr. DeWalt.
I'm very happy. Thank you, Isaiah.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, Mr. Guerra, the reason why you're in the box is because I issued a judge's warrant because you were not here yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your attorney told me that he would be able to get you here yesterday afternoon, but that's not a good idea because who knows how long that was going to. Hi, Hunter. Okay. So who knows how long that was going to take. So we're back here today. You did show up. Is there a reason why you didn't show?
I was not notified of this court date yesterday. Mr. Delwart just called me yesterday. That was the first time. This is my first time even meeting him.
Okay.
Ever since I've been out, I've been trying to get a
Oh,
contact.
no.
with him.
Here's the thing. We're
Yeah.
not going to do that.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand.
And then I've been
but-
checking in with Ms. Janelle, my what is that, PR bond?
Pretrial
bond?
services.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is the thing. Mr. DeWalt is here.
Yes, ma'am.
We will make sure that you have Mr. DeWalt's number. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you going to have any objection? He was doing court yesterday. He said he didn't know about the date it was first setting.
Okay, Judge.
It's an unauthorized use. Do you have any objection to the court recalling the warrant?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So we're going to recall your warrant. We're going to give you a reset form.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you need to make sure, and you can go into the back, make sure that your appropriate address is on file.
Yes, ma'am.
So if something goes to a different mailbox because you haven't changed your address in the back, that's all on you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I can give him the paperwork, he can sign it now.
Yes.
Just make the copy, make sure he has it.
All right. And what date do you want to bring him back? No, let's do 3 weeks. All right, Mr. DeWalt, the 7th or the 14th?
I'm looking right now, Your Honor. I'm looking right now. Let's do the 14th.
All right, so you're going to come back on November 14th. They're going to give you a sheet of paper. You need to make sure you're here at 9 a.m. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And they'll make sure you have Mr. DeWalt's number and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. DeWalt, obviously you have his contact information because you got him here.
Got him yesterday. Yes, Judge. Thank you very much for your consideration
All right, you're welcome.
and allowing me to do this via Zoom. Appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. And Mr. Guerra, how do you pronounce your first name? Isaias. All right, so the deputies, I think you all got that wrong. And you were letting me pronounce it incorrectly. Isaias. Okay. All right, thank you. And Bashan, just let me know when you're ready. And Norma, was Kevin Young sent to the other court?
No, he's here.
Okay, all right, I think he's outside with Arlene Gay. Thank you. Okay. All right, could I see the parties on Shelby Bandy?
Sandy?
Who's the attorney for Shelby Bandy? All right, just have a seat. We're going to wait for your turn.
He said he'll be right back.
All right. Jose Sanchez. Court is calling 2023 CR 7683, State of Texas versus Jose Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Mr. Sanchez.
Are you Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes,
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're charged with the offense of burglary of a habitation by force? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is and he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Omar Marquez or his address, drug court evaluation in CATS 1 and 2. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
State offer states Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've gone over the plea agreement with the defendant, Mr. Sanchez. The condition that the state is asking for, we're asking the court to follow the recommendation.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, what drugs are you using? What's your drug of choice?
Methamphetamine.
How often have you been using?
When I was out, I was actually maybe like every 2-3 weeks.
It's not every 2-3 weeks if you're going into somebody's home with not their permission.
It is every 2-3 weeks. The use of methamphetamine before entering Bear County jail or detention center was every 2 to 3 weeks. It wasn't every day or every week. It was almost every 2.
All right, everyone, please whisper and you need to speak up. So do you have any family supporting you?
At this time I do, but they are not present and they're probably busy with their lives right now. So
Have they cut you off because of
No.
drug use?
no, the reason why there hasn't been any family communication is because the last time I was in the detention center, communication with family caused a lot of because of my doing a lot of family problems to where.
What were you in detention for last time?
The last time was because of drug use. It was possession less than a gram. And the way information gets traveled around the detention center is a dangerous way of living. So because of this, the communication with family I cut off because I didn't want to further danger to family when speaking to family.
Okay, so we're gonna have to unpack that suitcase. I'm gonna let the deputies tell me what's going on. He said communicating with family at the jail is dangerous.
That's something within inside the pods. Inside the pods, communication with family is dangerous because there are 128 eyes watching you. 128 eyes watching an individual, so then 126 eyes watching you.
All right.
So then if you make a phone call, there are at least 4 ears listening to your conversation. Those 4 ears are then communicating across the room.
Okay.
When I walk in there today and have this paper by the end of the dinner time thing,
everyone will know.
Most people will know.
Okay, so people gossip at the jail.
But
All
yes.
right. So here's my question. Do you have any children?
I do not.
How far did you go in school?
In school,
Yes.
I have one degree in college, but that was just because
All right. How did you start using meth?
I visited a family member and asked for cocaine and they gave me meth.
Okay.
And the methamphetamine then encouraged me, but the energy that the methamphetamine gave me through my metabolism urged me to do something.
Have you been employed?
I work for myself.
Doing what?
Odd jobs here and there.
All right. So you're gonna have to stop doing odd jobs while you're on probation here.
Yes, ma'am.
Because how old are you?
I am 30 years of age.
All right. It's time for you to stop doing odd jobs. You're gonna have to get a steady paycheck. You understand?
I do have a question.
Yes.
So then the form, I don't remember the form, but if a person does 10 odd jobs and has those 10 odd jobs with what they did, the money they made, the money it costs.
We're not doing that. What I'm telling you is you're gonna get a job. You're not doing odd jobs. You're gonna get you a job that gives you a W-2 form. You understand? All right.
That is understandable.
All right. So we're gonna do 4 years deferred adjudication, $500 fine, probated, a referral to felony drug court, and that's gonna take place while in custody. TAP evaluation. There's no gang affiliation with you, is there?
No, ma'am.
All right. So felony drug court should accept you. Felony drug court is a good program. We're going to do 150 hours of community service restitution. There's to be no contact with Omar Marquez or the address. Regular reporting. Random regular UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days of release.
Yes.
There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors until further notice. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until he's accepted in felony drug court or has 2 months of treatment if he's not accepted in felony drug court. and that's 2 months of drug treatment. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Judge, would you like the TAP to be done in custody as well, or?
Yes, and what will end up happening, if you'll do the referral to felony drug court first, usually they're able to do all of that fairly quickly.
Okay.
So they'll probably have that done no later than next week with felony drug court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
I was gonna see if I can get a copy of the paperwork so that we can have it.
Yes, they'll make sure you have a copy.
And judge is gonna be retained in custody until the drug testing and everything's done.
Until until the felony drug court evaluation. They'll probably have that done by next week. And if they may be able to get it in this week, but most definitely by next week. And it'll be at the beginning of next week. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. But to confirm that that's the completion of the appeal agreement or the agreement that was just made, right? And
Yes,
I would have
so
to, dedicate to all of that was said.
yes,
Okay.
and they will give you a copy of that, so you'll have it. So you're not going to be off into the world trying to, oh, I don't remember what were the conditions. They will make sure you have that in writing.
That is perfect.
And I will tell you, in this court, communication is key. If there is some issue, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court and speak with me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You just
You're welcome.
have the excuse, judge?
Yes.
Thank you, judge.
Shelby Bandy. Court is calling 2023 CR 7684, State of Texas versus Shelby Bandy. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Kelly Piddle.
And are you Miss Bandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Bandy, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of burglary of a habitation force? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to $10,000 fine and up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Bandy, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 684012. There's to be restitution, if any, to Angel Gonzalez with a Z. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a top evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with Angel Gonzalez. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection.
You may be excused. Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asking for the part.
All right, so why are you breaking into someone's home?
It was a misunderstanding, really. I was watching, I lived there and I was watching the house at the time and the owner was in rehab and I had locked myself out of the house. And so I went through a window. I didn't break anything and I told the owner about it and it's just.
Why was the owner's clothes spread out all over the place?
His clothes?
Yes.
I don't know.
Why were cabinets open throughout the house?
I don't know. I didn't do any of that.
So either you're a bad watcher of homes or either you did that. He's saying that he never gave you permission to be in his home.
He
and
did.
that you're homeless.
I lived there. I had mail going there and I lived with him in at the residence and when I decided to move out and he had got mad, I guess. I don't know, but it's a mess. Like, so I lived at that address.
Defense?
We have discussed the defense judge. She understands that by taking this case, she's giving up her right to a trial and her very what we believe is a valid defense. But she understands that she's giving up her rights and has pled no contest and wishes the court to proceed with the case.
All right. So you do not wish to go to trial?
No, ma'am.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Do you have any children?
I have a son.
Age?
2.
And where is your son?
He's with family.
And where was he doing all of this?
Where was he at?
Yeah.
With my family.
All right. Is there a child protective services case?
No, ma'am.
Why do you not have your 2-year-old?
It's just, I didn't have a stable place to live. So.
How far did you go in school?
Some college.
When's the last time you had employment?
About right before I got locked up, which I've been incarcerated for 4 months.
And what were you doing? for
I
employment?
was doing traffic control.
I'm sorry, what?
Traffic control.
What do you mean traffic control?
Like, how, you know how they shut down the highways with the cones and.
Ah,
yeah.
so you're the person who places the cones down? Drug use?
No, ma'am.
Here's the thing, I'm putting you on probation. I'm gonna write it down that you told me you have no drug use. If you end up testing positive, we're gonna have issues.
Okay.
So Any drug use?
No,
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 4 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early, counsel, she can always come back. $1,500 fine, that would be probated. Take in consideration County Court 9, cause number 684012. And that's 684012. Is that the same complainant?
No, it's Walmart, Judge.
All right, so why are you stealing from Walmart allegedly? Was there a confusion there?
No, I didn't have the money to get like to pay for it, so
But you have employment, so why wouldn't you have money to pay for
I
it?
didn't that day.
Didn't have employment that day?
No money. I didn't have money that day.
So take in consideration 684012, cats 1 and 2. Regular random UAs. They're going to do random UAs. If you're using, they're going to catch you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, then I will deem her community service hours satisfied. There's to be no unsupervised contact with any minors. There's to be no contact with Angel Gonzalez. You're going to get employment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And we'll do a TAP evaluation that can be done out of custody and follow all TAP recommendations.
Can the court make a notation regarding the payment of supervisory fees? If she were to apply for early termination, she doesn't have to have all the supervisory fees paid for the full 4 years.
No, but what I can tell you is whether there's supervisory fees still pending in this court, whether there are court fees still pending in this court, when somebody asks for early termination, they send it to me.
Okay.
And I review it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you.
All right, probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do in your life, any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If it's maybe or a gray area, don't do it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In this courtroom, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you feel that probation is not addressing something, then you can always come back to the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Hello.
Did you get my note on Williams?
Yes, and so if you'll have them pull the file, and it's okay to remove it.
Williams, his name is Williams, Jerry Williams, he's already gone through his plea.
All right, Mr. Williams. They spoke to the complainant. The complainant has no objection with your GPS being removed. But remember what I said. No contact. Do you understand? Okay. Yes.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. All right. Are you ready on Jose Lozano? Or you want me to take a break? Let me see. Oh, it may be. Let me see. Oh, no, it's not. Jose Lozano? Well, that's not a good cough.
I'm sorry, this is last week. Last week was. Mr. Levon.
Yes.
Is a recall from yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, I'm sorry. She's asking questions. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, full disclosure, the prosecutor on this case is Hank, and I know he's.
In a trial.
But yeah.
Yes.
I went down to the second floor.
Okay. So we can't start your trial today because the attorney who's trying the case is not here. And I would not put your attorney, someone else from their firm in trial on your case if they were in another trial, and your counsel understands. So do you have any objection to a reset?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So how long do you anticipate this trial would last?
I'm sorry.
3 or 4 days.
Okay.
3 or 4 days, and my understanding is the complainant resides in Florida, so there's special travel arrangements that have to be made.
All right. Would you all object to the complainant appearing by Zoom?
Yes, we would have an objection.
Okay. We don't do special settings, but we will make sure that this is top of the list. All right, Ms. Ferguson, the state has a witness that will be coming in from Florida. So what date can we do? Okay. And this will be the top case. Oh, she's looking. All right. All right, so we'll be back on December 5th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Understood.
You're welcome.
May we be excused after signing?
Yes.
Thank you. You wait for me outside. And we're already December, yeah, because November's halfway. The first week of November, we've already got like jam packed. I don't know what we're gonna do. Oh, that's true. We just had a felt like home.
All right. Carla Smith. Hello. Good morning. So you're here because you were supposed to have accomplished some things. So have you been going to classes?
For the cocaine anonymous?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you provide proof of that to probation?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Do you have proof of that today?
Yes, ma'am, I do in my purse.
All right. So you need to give that to her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So how are things going with you?
Not good, ma'am.
All right. What's going on?
I've had 2 flybacks and
Just 1 second. Y'all need to whisper in the box. I'm sorry, what's going on?
I've had 2 fallbacks for positives, and I saw my VA doctor today, and I requested some medication to help me. In addition to what I'm already taking.
So you say via doctor?
VA, yes, ma'am.
VA doctor?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a disabled vet.
All right. So Vashawn, on this case, I know she was transferred from felony drug court due to health reasons. Is there any way we could see if Veterans Treatment Court can handle the mental health issues and everything?
I have a psychiatrist already.
No, I mean, just, they may be a better fit for her. All right, so just have a seat. We're gonna see if we can get Herman to come up here. So that way you can be in a community
Yes, ma'am.
that is aware of the veterans issue that you may face.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And Bashan, she's probably gonna have to be extended. Yes. And Norma, do you have any update on Joseph Grosso? Joseph Grosso. All right, so let's recall Joseph Gross in 2 weeks. I want to make sure that he has an attorney. And when do you want to bring him back? All right. Deputy Laura, can you let him know that we're working on getting him an attorney? Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, you know what? Since they assigned Matthew Finch, I really want him to get a chance to meet him and look over the cases. Let me see what our calendar looks like. Because I think he's been sitting there for a while. Can you just put it down for next week then? Do we have any room? Okay. All right, Deputy Lord, if you let him know, we're going to bring him back next week on the 24th.
Yes, sir.
All right, Raymond Amaya, Aaron LaFontaine.
They're calling.
Who's the client? Who is it?
Mr. Yegos, Your Honor.
Yes. Are you all ready?
We're ready, Judge.
All right, bring her up.
Ms. Gallegos. Thank you, Judge.
You're
I was
welcome.
getting a call from
No problem.
friendly court.
Probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2022 CR 0122, State of Texas versus Laura Gallegos. If I can have parties announced for the record for the state.
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
On behalf of Mr. Gallegos, Miss Gallegos, I'm sorry.
And are you Laura Gallegos?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We discussed it, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Gallegos, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding? It appears that you're proceeding on the indictment as presented. Is that correct?
Well, we're waiving the repeater status, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay. Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Ms. Gallegos, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe she is and was, Your Honor.
Ms. Gallegos, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There is to be restitution for drug testing to Castle Hills PD. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Our understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Motion's filed unheard, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, I'm showing you what's entitled I'm sorry. To the clerk. Hi, I don't have a docket sheet for her. It's Laura Gallegos. Sorry about that. Just give us a second. Oh, no problem. All right, I'm showing you what's outside the agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years and that there be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with office attachments.
Use the documents, Your Honor.
All right, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, you may continue. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting?
Judge?
Yes.
Her left ear is the good ear, Your Honor. I was
Okay.
talking in the right ear. I just want to remind her. Confrontation means we have a right to trial, to cross-examine individuals.
Okay, you're whispering to her in the court, Mr. Bartholomew. What you're whispering to her, the court reporter is trying to pick up.
Oh. Okay. I just explained, Your Honor, confrontational right to trial, Your Honor, and to cross-examine witnesses, just because she kind of blinked her eye, that's why.
Okay, all right, so you understand that the state is not going to be calling any witnesses today. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that the state is going to prove up their case through police reports and laboratory reports and the documents that are in state's exhibits 1 and attachments. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt if you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
On behalf of my client, Your Honor, first of all, she's been in custody. I've cautioned her long and hard about the nature of the plea, Your Honor, the risk extended to it. At this point in time, Your Honor, she's fully aware of the courts and the conditions that the court could apply. I'd ask that she be given intensive outpatient treatment, Your Honor, and that she be placed on deferred adjudication. At this point in time, the issue of employment, of course, would be a concern regarding the fine. And however, Judge, I would also ask in the alternative that the fine is assessed, that she be allowed to either buy out community service or the probate half of it.
All right. How old are you?
45.
Do you have any children?
Yes, 5.
5 children? What are their ages?
27, 24, 21, 20, and 22. They're all
adults.
They're adults.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
I'm gonna say 6 years ago.
6 years ago? So what have you been doing to support yourself?
Sorry?
How are you supporting yourself?
I was living out in the country with my boyfriend.
What, are you all living on the land? How are you living?
Moving hay, cows, cattle, you know.
Farming, Judge, I guess.
All right. Is this boyfriend Stephen LaFest? All right. That relationship is over. Because obviously he has drug issues too. You can't have 2 people together who are not in sobriety using drugs. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is your drug of choice?
Meth.
How often have you been using meth?
2012.
No, I mean, you've been using it more than, I said, how often?
Every day.
Every day? Do you have any other criminal history other than what's in the indictment?
Do I have criminal history? Yes.
Other than what's in the indictment, what is your criminal history?
The federal case, Your Honor, it means anything other than your federal case. Do you have any other cases? No.
Any violent history?
No.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. 4 years deferred adjudication. TAP evaluation. That's going to be in custody. I will refer her to felony drug court, but I don't know if felony drug court is going to accept her based upon the federal conviction.
That was 205, Your Honor.
Okay. No, I understand, but they may not accept you because of that, because it's distribution. So we'll do a referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court doesn't accept her, to follow all TAP evaluations. So if TAP says inpatient treatment, you're going to inpatient treatment. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've reformed the 3 to a 4, Judge, is that what you
Yes.
said?
If you complete everything early, then I'll consider early release. There's to be 150 hours of community service restitution, proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until she's in a treatment program. It's going to be random, regular UAs, regular reporting, and 90 meetings and 90 days, and that's sober meetings. There's some,
Define sober meetings for her, Your Honor, so she understands.
there are your AA meetings. They call them sober support meetings now. There's going to be no contact with, want to make sure I have his name spelled correctly. Stephen, Steven, middle name Clay, last name Leifeste. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And restitution, if any, to Castle Hills Police for drug testing.
And Your Honor, would that include grandchildren for children have children
Yes,
for a period of time, Your Honor?
until further notice.
That we come back and review.
Yes. All right, probation, is there anything else she needs?
The drug court referral in custody as well?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir. That'll be it.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I'm assuming, Your Honor, that the TAP will be inpatient as well.
Yes, if TAP said
No, what I mean is the evaluation would be,
in custody.
well, so we'll get them both done at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor, may I talk to my client? before-
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. You understand?
Well, she will.
We say that, but we shall see.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have assurance.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, I have your note. Okay. All right, who's here on Irene Aldman?
File up for you.
Thank you.
Someone put the file up for you.
Okay.
All right.
Remember, speak loud enough for the judge and recorder.
Okay. All right, this is an application.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Michonne. We are running probation ragged today. We run them ragged every day, but we really need to appreciate them because they are overworked and underpaid. And there are a lot of people who are in court today who are overworked and underpaid and not paid in a timely manner. And that includes the defense attorneys. All right. Oh, and of course, the state, you're always included as well. And Norma, do I just need to go through everybody who's underpaid? The deputies are underpaid and overworked. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 8018, State of Texas versus Irene Allman. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
George Schaefer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Allman?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Miss Allman, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're waiving count one and proceeding on count two, Judge.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Alman, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on count two, which is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes,
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
yes,
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
yes,
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She is, Your Honor.
Ms. Allman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's $50 restitution for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Judge, I believe the amount of restitution was 57, but whatever it is.
You're right, 57.
Sorry.
I was trying to give her $5 back. All right. So do you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, and a drug court evaluation. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Your Honor.
Judge.
All right. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? All right. And just so the record is clear, 57 is written down. I just read it as 52. All right. Then to the offenses charged in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? You need to speak up.
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
There is, Your Honor, with respect to the community service hours that the state is recommending. This person was in a car accident. She's had brain surgery. She's currently disabled and probably unable to perform any community service. I would ask the court to allow her to provide the probation department with proof of those things. And if so, we would ask the court to waive the community service.
Okay, so when did this accident occur? Was this before or after this incident?
It was before. It was before the incident, but I've been sick. I have 2 brain aneurysms and I've been disabled since 2004.
Okay. I can tell you right now, felony drug court is not going to accept her
I don't
because
think,
of the nature of the police report.
yeah, I don't think they should, Judge. As a candid matter, the drugs in question belonged to her boyfriend at the time, a David Casares, who entered a plea of guilty already and has been sentenced. I don't think they'll accept her, one, because she doesn't use drugs, and those were not for her
Just cuts
use.
them.
Sorry,
According to this, just cuts them.
according to the report, that's
Yes.
true, Judge.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $500 fine. That will be probated. 9 years deferred adjudication
I'm sorry, the term was 8, but
outside the agreement. So there'll be 9 years deferred adjudication, $57 restitution to the lab for drug testing, 100 hours of community service restitution. If she provides medical proof that she's unable to perform those hours, then the court will reconsider. So you need to provide whatever medical proof to probation. All right, there's to be no contact with David Casares, Casarez. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Random regular UAs. Proof of employment or disability within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. TAP evaluation that can be done out of custody. Follow TAP recommendations. Random field visits with a minimum number of field visits once every 3 months. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, address it with probation. If you feel like they're not addressing it, then you can always come back to the court. You understand?
Yes.
And here's the other thing. You cannot build your happiness off somebody else's misery. And whether your boyfriend was doing this and you participating, all of y'all were building your happiness off somebody's misery, trying to make fast money. And that's not the way to live your life. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Who do you have, sir?
Dowden.
She's on the recontact.
All right.
It's for Bushon.
All right, we're going to take up Dowding. Latoya Marshall Dowding. Court is calling 2019 CR 8625W, State of Texas versus Latoya Michelle Dowding. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense,
Julius Hicks, representing the defendant.
are you Miss Dowding?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
All right. Are you the same Latoya Michelle Dowding who was placed on community supervision in 2019 CR 8625W of the offense of harassment of a public servant on August 7, 2019 for a term of 3 years and extended for a term of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes, me.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 1 on or about the 13th day of May, 2023 in Barrett County, Texas. The defendant, Latoya.
Just 1 second. I don't have a violation of condition number 1. Oh, no. You know what? I only had this one, but I've seen this one. So did you review that document, the motion to revoke community supervision, the one that contains violations of
Yeah.
condition number 1?
Yes,
Did you understand it?
yes.
All right. All right, state.
Violated condition number 1 on or about the 13th day of May, 2023 in Barrett County, Texas. The defendant, Latoya Michelle Dowding, committed the offense of fraud, use, possession of identifying information, violation of condition number 1.
True. Okay. State.
Waive the remaining violated condition, Your Honor.
Any objections to the waiver?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dowling, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 5 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of
Yes.
condition number 1?
yes, ma'am.
All right, court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor,
Okay.
and that is to revoke the individual offer of community supervision and to, I believe, to reform this sentence of the underlying to 2 years, Texas Department of Corrections. And the state will take into consideration cause number CM 111995, which is the fraud that she pled true to.
All right, that's 111995.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, is that the agreement?
Your Honor, with regard to this case, the defendant has been.
Well, counsel, are you asking me to follow the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dowden, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, please.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, I am.
All right, so Ms. Downing, the court tried to work with you because I understand there were some mental health issues.
Yeah.
But in order for us to help you, you have to meet us at least halfway. You understand?
Yes.
And you did not. So I'm going to grant the motion. And I'll sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Was there any inpatient treatment ever done? I know that she did not report to the facility that we were trying to arrange for her.
Your Honor, we could double check. I do want to make note that she does have well over 900 days.
Okay.
Back.
Well, if my math is good, that should be a judgment satisfied. But if my math is not up to standards, then maybe not. So I'll show it as a judgment satisfied. They're still probably going to take you to the facility. You understand?
Where?
To the prison.
Okay.
But they will do a process there where they process you in and then you should be released. Sometimes though, people are released from the Bexar County Jail. It just really depends.
Oh, right.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Dowding,
Yes.
I understand mental health issues,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to do better Because when you're released from prison, if you don't do better, what's going to end up happening is you're going to pick up more cases. And if you pick up more cases, ultimately you could be designated as habitual. That means your minimum sentence will be 25 years. You understand? So when you are released, you need to go to Center for Healthcare Services. All right. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And if there is something you do not understand when you're released from prison, you can always come back here to the 187. And I will remind you, go to the Center for Healthcare Services. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Just.
Thank you,
so
Judge.
you know, she did complete 90 days in ISL.
All right. Could I see her file again?
Thank you.
All right. And we'll give her credit for any inpatient treatment or for ISF. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
You don't need.
Clark Shepherd.
Judge, he's in the hallway. Do I need to get
Yes, he needs to bring Bart in. Okay. What date do you want to give it? Okay. All right. Hello. And counsel, you're on this side. My understanding on this case, you all are applying for PTD?
Yes, Judge, he was working on the application.
All right, so we'll bring you back on November 28th. And once that's signed, he's excused.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Sister Shimada? And then-
Norma, which page is he on?
Page 9.
All right, thank you.
Right above, Zuniga.
Thank you. All right. And Mariana Boynes, just give us a moment. I'm trying to give probation a chance to catch up. And probation, just let me know when you're ready. And then after that, it will be Malvina Kane, Monica Wade. All right, where are we on this case?
When you have a plea deadline,
All right, so have you received an offer?
we have, Your Honor.
You have all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, how old are you?
43.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date. All right, we're coming back on November 6th. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. All right, thank you. And once you sign the reset form, you're excused. All right, Kevin Young.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right, this is your final plea deadline date.
How you doing, Judge?
Oh, I'm doing great. I cannot complain.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. People always tell me any day you're above ground is a great day. So,
Yeah, you ain't lying.
yeah. So what is happening with this case?
It doesn't appear that we can resolve it today.
All right, so Mr. Young, today is your plea deadline date. The court is not going to accept any plea bargain agreements after the day without good cause. Otherwise, if you decide to plea, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
What you mean open to the floor if I've heard?
Oh, if there's not a good reason for me to accept a plea bargain agreement, let's say 2 weeks from now, you all decide to enter a plea, you've worked something out with the state. If there is not a good reason for me to accept that plea, I'm not going to accept it because your time to plea has passed. So if you were to decide to enter a plea after today, it would be to the court. So you would just plea open to the court with no plea agreement with the state. You understand? That's what I mean when I say plea open to the court. Sure, no problem. I believe communication is key.
Man, you know it is.
Yes. All right. So how long is this jury trial going to last?
No more than 4 days. I think that's including jury selection.
Including jury selection for 4 days, Your Honor.
Okay. So it's probably going to be over within 3 days. You say no. Deputy lawyer's like, no.
Week and a half.
No. I think I've seen both attorneys in trial. They will ask no questions that don't need to be asked. Right? All right, Ms. Ferguson. And Ms. Gay, do you want to go over there as well to look at your
Sure,
calendar?
Sure, I'll do that.
Because we are going to get this case tried. Sure.
Ms. Carla Ray Smith, yes.
Okay. All right, I tell you what, if you will have a seat, they're gonna get a date for me.
Okay, it's fine. Go sit over.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
All right, on Carla Smith.
And then, let's see it.
Okay. All right, so Miss Smith, what is happening?
So, Veterans Treatment Court would like a referral.
Okay. All right, so Miss Smith, we're gonna do a referral to Veterans Treatment Court, and I think that may be a good fit for you, all right? All right, so probation will tell you what you need to do. All right.
Get a reset for 3 weeks.
All right, could I see the file again on Miss Smith? Yes. All right, and then the people who are going to be next is Marina Barnes, then Melvina Kane, then Mr. Nguyen. All right, and Norma, could I get a 3-week reset on Carla Smith?
Go back to.
Yes.
November 7th.
All right, and if you'll give her a reset form, so we're going to bring her back on November 7th.
Thank you.
It's Carla Smith, Carla Ray Smith.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Nguyen. All right, if you'll come forward.
I do want to know. We did a year, drug test and it was negative.
Okay, all righty. All right, Mr. Nguyen. We have an issue. You can uncross your arms. All right. So they've been extending you and then they discharge you unsuccessfully from outpatient treatment because according to them, you were not staying engaged. So why are you not engaging in treatment?
I did go through the class.
All right, they're saying as of June 1st, it says probationer was discharged unsuccessfully from outpatient treatment. Per his counselor, the client failed to stay engaged in group and efforts to contact resulted in no return call.
Oh, I was at home sick, man, for 4 months. Then go to work and I quit cigarette. That's why.
All right,
And I
so.
don't smoke ever since for 5 months already.
All right, so our problem is, that's great,
Mhm.
not smoking cigarettes, and I know
For
it's
5
hard.
months. Yeah.
I know it's hard to give up,
Yes.
but you've got to do your treatment. And if you don't do your treatment plan, you're going to end up potentially being revoked. You understand?
Yes, man. That's why I asking for go back, retake the class.
Okay. All right, probation. Is he able to retake the classes?
That's good.
All right, so we're going to put you back in outpatient treatment.
Thank you.
All right, so you've got to make sure that you stay focused and do your plan, because if you do not, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed. You're going to end up getting arrested if you don't make bond. You're going to end up being brought over in orange, and you may end up going to the state jail facility for up to 2 years. Do you want that?
No, ma'am.
All right, so.
I've been doing really good for quick cigarette and that at the same time.
All right, so we're going to have you re-enrolled in outpatient treatment. And if there's an issue, you need to contact them. And if you feel they're not answering you, then you can always come to court. We're here. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome.
I'm good.
Yes,
Thank
just
you,
talk to probation before you leave. All right, what's the date for Mr. Young?
We have May 14th, Your Honor.
All
So there
right.
shouldn't be any conflicts with anybody's schedule.
That's correct. Your
All right, May 14th. And the reason why it's scheduled so late is because we have a lot of murder trials on the docket.
And I understand he's on bond as
Okay.
compared to people who are incarcerated.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mariana Barnes. And I'm sure I've mispronounced her name 6 different ways. Mariana, thank you. Is that your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so when your name is being mispronounced, if your mom is not around, you need to correct people. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me see what we have here. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7666, State of Texas versus Mariana Barnes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
John Young for the defense.
Are you Miss Barnes?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Probation, there's no application. Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, not sign it, but did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor, and just for the court's notice, we're going to be requesting 30 days for her to get her affairs in order. She has a 6-year-old daughter before she goes into custody.
All right,
She is on GPS monitor.
all right. Are you waiving the reading of the indictment?
I am, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor. We're waiving the enhancement paragraph, and we're also proceeding on the lesser included of kidnapping, third degree.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of kidnapping as a third degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record. Do y'all want to put in here what happens if she doesn't show?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court doesn't have to follow your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe she is.
Ms. Barnes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Excuse me?
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of kidnapping. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications. They will take in consideration 2023 CR 7845. And if you do not show for sentencing on your date of sentencing, then your plea of no contest or guilty will remain and you will be subjected to the full range of punishment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that you have no contact with Sophia Martinez. Did you understand that's the recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of kidnapping, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all this attachment.
No objection.
All right, you may be excused. Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. You're asking for time for her to report?
Yes, sure.
All right, I'm going to give her 1 week. Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this for next week for sentencing?
Your Honor, her father lives in Omaha, Nebraska, and he has told me that he would like to come down and see her before she goes into prison. That's why I asked for the 30 days. Could you extend that a little bit?
No, I'm just going to give her 1 week.
Very well, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson.
26th.
All right, we're coming back on October 26th for sentencing. All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form and then I will sentence you on that day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Oh, no problem. Armando Regalado. All right, do you speak Spanish? All right, do you have all the discovery?
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm very early on the case, so I do not.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this for discovery? 30 days.
We can do the 27th of November.
All right, and Norma, if you can give them a reset form, so that's going to be the 27th at 9 a.m.
9
Mhm.
Thank you.
Is your client a citizen?
No, I believe not actually. No.
All right, Norma, he's going to need an interpreter for next time. And I'm proceeding without the interpreters because I know they're at lunch break. And he needs an immigration attorney appointed.
I'll give to the public safety department.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Melvina Kane. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 6685 State of Texas versus Melvina Kane. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
Robert Gowan for the defendant.
are you Ms. Kane?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Kane, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Everyone, just give me a moment. We're going to go off the record for a moment. All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the review of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
The state, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Going to show you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes.
I understand you're charged with theft under $2,500 enhanced. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from $10,000 fine from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She sure does.
Do you believe she's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Kane, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 715-845, night mag number 727-362. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Judge.
going to show you the waiver of repeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Walmart at 2100 Southeast Loop 410, 78220, and CATS 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence
State offer state exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Could ask the court to follow the plea bargain agreement that we've made with the state judge.
All right. How old are you?
38.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
So why do you keep committing thefts?
Well, at the time, I was into it with my boyfriend and I didn't want to ask him to buy me nothing. So
Well, it says here you both were stealing.
yeah, he was just with me though. But like, if you're with somebody and you're stealing, they go to jail too. So.
Well, it says here, items stolen, bra, wallet, cooking oil, pins, 5-pack, backpack, pennies, 12-pack of Dr. Pepper sodas, dog food, hand purse, travel kit, personal hygiene items, microfiber towels. So where's the dog?
I don't know. There's no dog.
So you were just
So-
taking dog food?
No, he had that. I think he was gonna pay for that, but when we was in the self-checkout line and he was scanning his stuff to pay for it, that's when they came and got us. So he didn't get to pay for like the stuff that he was gonna pay for.
All right, so why do you keep stealing?
I think it has become a problem
No, I mean, obviously it's a problem. You're in felony court, but the question is, why are you stealing?
because I didn't have the money and I didn't want my boyfriend to buy me.
Well, no, I mean, you're in felony court for this theft because you've had prior thefts.
Yes.
So why do you keep stealing?
I don't know, I guess it's a habit, miss.
All right, were you drug tested today?
No, ma'am.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Marijuana,
And what else?
that's it.
All right, why are you doing drugs knowing you have court?
Just going through a lot,
What does that mean?
stressing, court, trying to find shelter. All this
Why do
stuff.
you not have a place to live?
Well, my dude's incarcerated and I was staying with him and there's a problem at the house where I'm staying at with him.
All right, so you can't support yourself?
Not at the moment.
Have you ever supported yourself or have you always been
Well, I
dependent
was
upon
always with
others?
my mom and she supported me and I worked for her. but she got murdered 2019, and I met my boyfriend, so I've been with him since. And he been supporting me, taking care of me.
All right. How far did you go in school?
11.
Why didn't you graduate?
I dropped out. I was going through some things in and out of juvenile and
Out of juvenile for what?
stealing.
Okay. All right. This is what we're gonna do. $500 fine probated. There's to be no contact with Brian Dwayne Parker. No contact with Walmart's, Cats 1 and 2. Regular reporting. Regular random UAs. Taking consideration County Court Cause number 715-854, Night Mag number 727362. 100 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if she is in some type of trade school or gets her GED. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. And I know they have that community court program to help with housing. I think you are not supposed to be on probation with that. Yes.
Oh, I'm with Saha. Well, my case manager's back there and
Case manager. Hi.
yeah.
Come forward, case manager,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to figure out what to do with her so she can be successful. Oh, come forward.
Your Honor,
Oh.
very good things about.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we're off the record. So what is happening with her and Saha?
Okay, with Saha, she has apparently made a previous application. First of all, my name is Trez Scipio with the City of San Antonio Homeless Outreach.
Okay.
So I've been working with Ms. Kane, probably about a year or so. So I've seen some of the tumultuous relationship issues with her and her, I guess, ex-boyfriend. Met up with her shortly after her time, after her mother passed away. So we've used counseling. We've actually been working with Haven, try and actually get her enrolled in their some of their programs to get her off the street, to get her safely housed. Then from there, we plan on working with her to get her a job, get her stabilized, and move on from there. And she has shared just between the two of us through counseling some of the issues that she has been through. I was kind of shocked when you were asking her, pumping her for information. I'm like, tell them about your childhood, tell them about issues with your mom, tell them that she has been through a very stressful, tumultuous life, both in childhood and as an adult, which I definitely feel.
So is probation able to use you as the contact person to go through to see if she's following through on the programs you set up for her through Saha?
Yes, I can.
All right. So we're back on the record. What I'm going to order then is I'm going to order for her to do housing and mental health. Are you all taking care of that as well?
Take care of that as well.
The mental health will be through Saha. And what is your?
Through the City of San Antonio.
Yeah, through the City of San Antonio, but you're going to be the contact person.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what is your ex-boyfriend's name?
Brian Dwayne Parker.
Oh, that's the person I've ordered you to have no contact with.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not allowed to have any contact with him.
No, ma'am.
And I can't force you to be in relationships, but I always try to tell people, don't bring somebody else in your life until you know who you are and you're established yourself. So you don't have to depend on people for housing and depend on them to support you. Because when you depend on other people to support you, you know what ends up happening? If they leave, you don't have any support. And then what happens?
This.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Probation, is there going to be anything else she needs? Yes, we'll do field visits. one time per month, and that's just going to be field visits once Saha has her set up, once she has housing. So you'll have a place to visit.
And did you want a TAP evaluation?
Yes, let's do a TAP evaluation. And you need to make sure that you make that appointment. If you don't make that appointment, what's going to end up happening is a warrant may be issued for your arrest. And then maybe you will be revoked, or maybe you will have your TAP evaluation at the Bexar County Jail.
No, I'll make it.
All right. Is there anything else, probation? All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you think there's anything else she needs from the court?
From the court, no, ma'am. I believe that is.
All right. All right. And this court communication is key.
Yes, ma'am.
If there's an issue that you feel is not being addressed with probation, you can always come to the court and speak to me. You understand?
Yes.
All right. I'm show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Thank you. All right. And probation, I believe they will handle mental health issues as well. But if you all feel that there needs to be a mental health evaluation, you can. All right. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sir, excuse me.
Sure. Oh, okay.